What's up, guys? I am on my way to Lake Ouachita, or as Siri calls it, Ouachita. First BFL of the year. I'm fishing the Arky division this year. Didn't really want to go back to Kentucky Lake. I rode the struggle bus all year long, and I wanted to try something new instead of being stuck on one lake. So I've never fished in Arkansas ever. So obviously I haven't fished on Lake Ouachita. Don't really know a whole lot about it either, but can be a good thing. I don't have any distractions. I can just start wherever. Nothing to keep me from getting on the bite that I need to. But if it's a grind, I have nowhere to start because I have no history on it. So we'll see. Might be great, might suck. I don't know. I'm gonna show up to win. I always show up to win, but hopefully I actually win this time. That'd be pretty cool. But got like 5 hours to go, and then hopefully I'll get a few hours on the water before dark. Then tomorrow we'll go out and see if I can't get bit a few times and figure something out pretty quick. See you there. Break my net. I don't want another one. Just so you're aware, if you're jigging, don't jig right by your trolling motor, and then when your trolling motor gets your line, don't accidentally bump continuous on your trolling motor, because it'll suck about half the line on your reel right on your trolling motor before you even have any idea what's going on. So this is what I'm going to be doing for a little bit. Alright guys, so to catch you up to where we're at in the video, I didn't do a whole lot of talking at the start. I did a lot of running around, not a whole lot of fishing, definitely not a whole lot of catching for the first day and a half or so while I was practicing. I caught one decent spot, but that's kind of where we're at. I have at this point have tried a lot of different things, just for short periods of time, but I've kind of came to the conclusion that I'm going to start a little bit deeper with a jig, and that's kind of where we're at in the video. This is where I'm locking down, and I'm kind of picking out my football jig as what I'm gonna do a lot of the pre-fishing with and see if I can catch some on it, and that's where we're at in the video. Well, just don't eat my carpet. We'll be alright. Hopefully I can get this guy to answer back so I didn't just adopt a dog. Alright, to better explain what was going on there to you guys, I was out there, caught a fish. All of a sudden off in the distance I hear a dog crying on an island out in the middle of nowhere. So I figured I'd go over there, check it out, and see what it was. Of course, it was a small dog, very skinny, did have a number on its neck, so brought it back on my boat, gave it a granola bar, and eventually after a couple hours of that thing on my boat, had it tucked in under my life jacket while I was fishing, got a hold of the guy and returned it to him. He said that the dog had been missing for 6 days, so he had thought that the dog was pretty much dead, but I gave it back to him nearly dead, and hopefully it survived, but I don't really know. It would have died if I wouldn't have found it, though, I can tell you that. That. That's what you want to see. It has been a grind. And that's the first big fish that I've caught. Morning. I'm up here on an arm on the northeast side of the lake. Had a pretty good day of practice yesterday. Caught one that was about 5 and a couple keepers with it. But hopefully today we'll find a few more big ones in this area, and then we got a few more days to figure some more stuff out. So see how this one goes. Alright. Change from yesterday to today. Yesterday I was fishing deep, clear water, so I had green watermelon red, green pumpkin, Strike King football jig with a minnow scrub trailer. It's got just a little bit of movement. Today This is a little bit shallower, a lot dirtier. Switching to black and blue, you can see the difference in profile. It's a little bit bigger profile. It's got a swinging head on it, so there's more movement, and then throwing a rage crawl. It's got a lot more kick, puts off a lot more water. That's my change from clear to dirty water. I got like 4 bites right off the bat here. I really had too light of a rod for how heavy of a hook is on this football jig. So I switched my rod, but the swinging head football jigs, sometimes the way they get it in their mouth, it can actually, you can hurt your hurt your hookups. And I think I'm going to switch back to just a regular football jig and without the swinging head until I can catch something. Make sure these are bass that are in here. Something really big bit me just a little bit ago, and that was right before I switched rods. But hopefully I can figure out if these are bass. This right here is a sign that all these fish I've been getting to bite are bass. Alright, so I'm not going to wear these fish out. I'm gonna pray that they stay here a couple more days. With the incoming rain and stuff, I think maybe with the water coming up and stuff in this creek, that and all the rain we're supposed to get the next couple days, that they'll still be here. There's a lot of grass, and it's just an area where I think that they're going to stay in. Found a good spot. I'm going to keep looking. It's another keeper. Well, I forgot to press record, but I just caught my limit today. It's definitely been a lot better day today, just finding spots wise. I've caught my limit on different spots each fish, so that's 5 spots with fish on them that I've found. So I'm back in the truck here. Today was pretty good. I caught my limit. I lost a couple big ones in the morning trying to use that swinging head football jig. When I made the switch to a regular football jig, immediately started catching them again, so I'm probably not going to throw the swinging head football jig anymore, at least this time. But I found a couple really good areas. Found one that had quite a few fish in it. I only caught one out of the school and then I left it, and I did the same thing with all the rest of the spots I found this morning. I caught one fish and left them. Still caught 6 keepers today, or I caught 5 keepers today. I lost one that was about 3 pounds or so, but probably caught a limit for about like 10 or 11 pounds, but it was a good day. Got a lot to go off of, and I'm gonna run that pattern for a few days in some different spots and see if I can find some better quality. Alright, back on the water out here on the main lake. Gonna fish the deep clear water out here. Water temp today is still 46.7 out here. It's showing still pretty cold. Just fishing some of these main points and ditches out here, and still gonna be fishing a football jig. Might fish a swim bait just a little bit and a Carolina rig, but I'm gonna go hunt some big ones. Alright, quick instructional video on how I'm breaking down Lake Ouachita. So here on my Navionics chip, everywhere that, for some reason on this chip, might be different on other ones, everywhere that there's standing timber, they do not have contour lines. So if you back out here, right on this section of the lake, see, I mean, Lake Ouachita is big, but pick out a section. In this case, I picked out this section for today. Has all kinds of standing timber on there. You can tell because there's no contour lines anywhere near the bank. That's what I'm looking for. Also, grass, huge key factor. Okay, so here I am, then now you're looking for vertical banks. So we're going to go to the hummingbird chip that I have, and it shows contours inside of trees. So I can find the trees with that one. Now I go to this chip, and again, lake's huge, but wintertime, or it's February, but water's warming up just a little bit. It's still 46.6 here. Yesterday it was around 47 or so after the sun warmed it up all day. But we're going to zoom in here, and okay, so I am here. I'm looking for almost vertical banks with a channel swing or a channel close by. So first you look, I mean, every bank looks vertical from out here, so you got to find ones that look right with channels by them. Then you're going to zoom in. If you zoom all the way in to 50 feet, that will give you a pretty good idea of which ones are truly vertical. Now, if you look where I'm at right now, you got the channel coming by, and then you have all the way at 20 feet, still contour lines touching. That bank is nearly vertical or vertical. So that is what I'm looking for right there. Got a channel swing. Then the next thing that I'm looking for, because there's a lot of banks that are vertical with a channel swing, but they're also way too deep. And what I mean by that is the top of them. I'm looking for ones that have quick access to very shallow flats. It's right here. This area, there's a couple ditches, but very shallow. Again, this area, very shallow. I just caught a fish yesterday right over here. Shallow all through here. But there's a point coming out, caught the fish right here on the side of it, right where those lines get really vertical. Right where that channel, I mean, a defined channel is running right against there. Caught one right there, and that's been almost the story all day yesterday. Everywhere I went like that, I could pull a fish off of it. So that's what I'm doing today. But the next thing, very, very important, aside from standing timber, channel swing, and that, another way to break it down also that has been a key factor in all this, if there's not grass I'm most likely not going to catch a fish there almost every time. So grass is also one of the huge things. So deep water, access to shallow water, channel swing or channel close by, and grass. I think I just said grass, standing timber. But yeah, so that's the pattern that I'm running. It's worked for me pretty good yesterday. I just started out today. I'm trying some new spots, kind of a little bit different from the mold of yesterday, but I'm just staying off of most of the areas where I think I'm really going to catch them, because it's getting really close to the tournament, and you don't want to go wear the fish out or catch a fish that you might have picked up in a few days, you know, and push it off the spot that you're going to catch them. So that's what I'm doing today. Alright, today didn't really go as planned. I planned on fishing on the main lake all day, looking for new spots, but the bite really wasn't there, at least for me. So I went back in. I found one more spot close to the area that I was fishing yesterday, kind of on a different deal, just in the same area. It was a little channel swing going up against the bank. I hooked one there, lost it on the way to the boat. Then I went back out to the main lake, and about 2 o'clock-ish, I caught one, you know, like 13, 14 incher on a jerk bait. But I did learn that I don't need to go looking for new patterns, I don't think, because I did a little bit of that today and it did not go well. So hopefully my fish will be there come on Saturday when the tournament starts. Tomorrow's Friday. Don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow yet, but I'm not liking that I'm depending on really just a few spots for the tournament so far, but could end well. It could be terrible if the fish move completely on tournament day, but I don't know. I think I can find them. Alright, off the water for the final day of practice. Caught one today on a jerkbait. Hooked a big striper on a jerkbait too. I'm starting to think that there's a few fish suspended. I think that that's going to change a little bit. I think the jig bite's going to come back on tomorrow. But probably just going to be throwing a jig and a jerkbait all day long.
I caught the fish on a jerk bait today in an area that I would normally be catching one on a jig. So I think that I can run the same areas that I caught fish on a jig with a jerk bait if they aren't biting the jig tomorrow and still catch fish. So that's the game plan. Don't have a plan B. I guess don't make plan B because it distracts from plan A. So I have one plan only, and hopefully it goes well.
All right, guys, that wraps up pre-fish. Stay tuned with my channel because the tournament video will be coming up here soon. This video, I'm going to go over some of the baits and everything that I used, a little bit about how I found them. Tournament video, I'm going to kind of break down each fish catch with, just kind of overview of the area on my map chip, how I'm lining up my boat, what cast I'm making, all of that. But this video, so for starters, the football jig that I was using, 3/4 ounce Strike King football jig, the green pumpkin with watermelon red with the watermelon red Mini Scrub trailer. Trimmed down a little bit. I trimmed the skirt and I trimmed the Mini Scrub down. A little bit smaller profile. In the dirty water, I was using the black and blue with the Rage Crawl trailer. I went over that in the video, but just different profile, different color for that different color water. I was fishing it really deep. I went with 3/4 ounce so I could kind of get it down there a little bit, and I was getting bit on the 3/4 ounce pretty well, so that was what I stuck with. I was having to drag it, very slow. Kind of how I figured out how slow I needed to go, because so I look back at my footage and everything from the tournaments. This is what I use for recording. Mount my GoPro on there. It's Yoltech power stick, powered all day long. You just plug it into the port and it goes. You leave it there, you don't have to worry about batteries or anything like that. Put a big memory card in there, you don't have to touch it all day long. And that's why it's awesome for tournaments, because I'm not going to mess with a camera while I'm trying to fish, and give up crucial fishing time to mess with the recording. So even pre-fishing, just going out fishing, you don't want to mess with the camera all day. So that's what's awesome about this. So looking back at the footage, I see that a lot of the casts that I'm getting bit on are 2 to 5 minute long casts. From just dragging it really, really slow through those trees. So looking back at the footage actually helped quite a bit, because it really showed me how much I needed to slow down. And also you can look back and I'm watching what casts I'm making, exactly what all I'm doing when I'm triggering those bites. Awesome product. Check them out if you want one. Check in my description in the video. There will be a link. It's my personal link to their website. Use that link. That'll let them know that I sent you, and I'll also have a promo code for you there, so that'll get you a little discount if you want to go buy some of their stuff and start recording your fishing trips. Anyway, those were the football jigs I was using. That is exactly how slow I was having to fish. I was also throwing a Carolina rig some, caught a couple fish on it, but same deal, having to just drag it really slow through all that grass and the trees and everything. Used a black and blue lizard. I only used the Carolina rig in that dirty water. I tried it a few times out in the clear stuff and I couldn't get bit. So that was the color I was using for the Carolina rig. I did throw a crankbait some. Only got bit on it once and I lost it. I couldn't really get the crankbait down through all that standing timber very well. I was using a crawl colored 6XD. Caught one on it. I say caught one. Hooked one on it and lost it. Jerk bait that I was using was a Strike King deep diving jerk bait. Normally dives to around 10 feet. I added some heavier hooks to it. They're number 2 Mustad triple grips. They make it sink just a little bit. So throw it out there, get it down to its normal depth, and then you're just going to let it sit. Slowly, very slowly it sinks, but you let it sit there a second. And so I was getting it down there more, closer to that 15-foot range. And I felt like it helped me pick up a few fish, because I actually fished a regular jerkbait that I didn't get bit on, some, and with no luck. So I ended up kind of switching out, trying to get it down there deeper, and started getting some bites. So could have been, nothing to do with it, but I feel like that little extra bit, getting it down there really made a difference. And I ended up picking up fish up on it in the tournament, so might have been worth it. So jerkbait, football jigs, Carolina rig really were kind of the main stuff I was getting bit on. I will go over at the end of the tournament video some of maybe the things I would have changed, maybe mistakes that I made, all that. Let me know what you thought about the video, what you think about the tournament, everything in the comments. You might be learning something, you might be screaming at me, telling me, I don't know a whole lot about Lake Ouachita. I've never fished in Arkansas before, so there's probably plenty of people that know more about the lake than me. So let me know what you think about it. Next video is going to be the tournament video, but the next tournament is Lake Dardanelle. Also, I've never been there before, so it's going to be the same deal. I'm going to be filming everything, letting you know how I break it down. Hopefully, I'll find some fish down there and have some good footage for you guys. And like, subscribe, be ready, because Dardanelle's coming soon. It's probably going to be a slugfest because it's coming at a pretty good time of the year, March 23rd. Going to be a good tournament.